Welcome to this beginner's guide to the Insta360 Ace Pro. In this video, I want to go through the unboxing, the setup, I'll talk about the different camera modes and what you can use them for, and I'll also share my own tips and tricks throughout the video so that you'll be equipped to get the most out of your own Ace Pro. And if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe because I've got more Insta360 content coming very soon. Alright, so I'll just quickly go over some of the key features of the Ace Pro before we get into the actual setup of the camera. So it's got a 1 1/3 inch sensor, which is really impressive. It's got an f2.6 aperture lens, and the lens is actually co-engineered with Leica. It's got an ISO range of 100 to 6400. It's also waterproof straight out of the box up to 10 meters. Features a 2.4 inch flip screen, which I'll talk more about later. Then in terms of recording capabilities, this little camera can shoot up to 8K, which is crazy for such a small little camera. It can also shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second, which is also really impressive. And then you can shoot super slow-mo in 240 frames per second in 1080p. It supports active HDR throughout most resolutions, and you can also shoot photos on this camera with a whopping 48 megapixel resolution. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go through is the Ace Pro unboxing. And as always, it comes really nicely packaged like all Insta360 products. Once you unwrap it and open up the box, the first thing you'll see is the Ace Pro. Then you can open up the accessories box, and included you get a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer, a sticky mount, and a quick release mount, which I'll talk more about later. Then you get some Insta360 stickers and some documentation. Pop out the Ace Pro and it's covered in these really nice stickers, and they're super satisfying to remove if you ask me. Once you've removed them, power it on and you're good to start the setup. Alright, so let's get stuck into the setup of the Ace Pro, and the first thing you'll probably want to do is insert an SD card because natively the Ace Pro doesn't have internal storage. So in order to do that, all you have to do is just go to the side here, and there's this little flap, just push down and it will pop open, lift it up, and as you can see, you've got a USB-C port and an SD card slot. So all you have to do is grab your SD card. It's probably easier if you put it down on your table or wherever you're working, and then just insert it into the slot and then just push down until it clicks. And then from there you can just close the flap, press down and push up, and it will click into place, and then you're ready to go. Now you also might want to charge the camera, and to do that you just go to the exact same little flap, and this little USB-C port is where you charge the camera. So you can just grab your USB cable with power, plug it in, and then as you see, this little light will turn on the back, as well as the main light on the front will turn red. Now lastly, I'll show you how to install the quick release mount on the bottom. So this is the included quick release mount that comes with the camera, and as you can see, it's got this little camera icon on one side, and that means that you need to face the camera in that direction. So if I turn the camera around so it's facing that direction, you literally just line up the 4 slots with the 4 prongs and just click it in like that. It'll magnetically attach. You'll hear it click, and that's it. You're good to go. You can mount that to any accessories to take this type of mount. If you want to take it off, all you have to do is there's these little buttons on either side. Just press them in and it will pop right off. Next, let's talk a bit about the little flip up touch screen. So if you want to flip it up, it's naturally got a lock. So if I try and open this now, it's not going to open for me. So all I have to do to unlock it, there's little buttons on either side of the screen. So there's one here and there's one here. Just grab them, press them together and lift, and that will unlock the screen. Another advantage of the Ace Pro is the fact that it's got a removable battery. So on the other side of the camera from where the charge port is, there's another flap door. Just press and push down, and then this little door will release, lift it up, and inside you can see the battery. It's got a little tab here, so just grab the tab and pull, and the battery will just pop right out. And then you can quickly swap in a freshly charged battery straight into the camera. Again, to put it back, just literally line it up with a hole, push it in, it will click, and then just close the flap, press down and push up, and then it will be nice and secure and you'll be good to go. All right, next let's talk a bit about how to actually operate this little camera. And obviously the first thing you want to do is to power the camera on, and to do so it's super simple. There's a power button on the left side of the camera here. Just press it once and then the camera will automatically power on. And you can tell it's on obviously because of the indicator lights and the screen being on. And then on the front of the camera, you've got that really nice extra screen that shows you the mode and the settings that you're currently set to. Now, a nifty little trick with the power button that I recently discovered is you can use it to quickly change between modes. So if you just press it while the camera's on, it'll bring up this quick change menu, and this will switch between different preset modes. So I've got it set to video, time lapse, and free frame video. If I let go, it's just going to automatically switch into that mode. And if I want to customize the different modes that it switches between, all I have to do is press this and then press this little icon up here. And then from here, you can select which mode you'd like the quick switch feature to be enabled with. You can have as many or as few as you like. Now, just in terms of navigating the touchscreen, if you swipe up from the bottom, this will give you your current mode settings. And this menu will change depending on which shooting mode you're currently in. Swipe down, will go back to the main screen. If you swipe over from the right side, it'll give you the camera settings. So here you can either choose auto or you can go full manual and adjust things like your color profile, shutter speed, and ISO. But generally I just leave it on auto because it does a great job of automatically selecting the right settings. If you swipe down, this goes to your general settings for the whole camera. And I'll go through that in detail later in the video. And then lastly, if you swipe over from the left, this will bring you to the playback area where you can see all the videos you've previously filmed and you can play them back as you like. Next, let's talk a bit about some recording tips. So when the camera's on, if you want to start recording, all you have to do is press the big red record button on top. So if I press that, that's going to start a recording. Press it again once. That will stop the recording. You can also, while the camera is recording, if you decide you don't want this clip anymore and you just want to delete it, then just hold down the record button. And this will cancel that recording. Just hit cancel recording, and then that clip will be deleted and not saved, which can be really helpful in terms of saving you space on your memory card. Another cool thing with the recording on the Ace Pro is you can actually pause recording and then keep going. So currently it's recording, but on the screen is a little pause button. So if I press that, it's going to pause the recording. And then when you want to keep recording, you can either press the top shutter button or press the record button on the screen, and that will keep recording. And so those two clips now will be merged into a single video file, which again can save you a lot of time in editing. Another cool recording feature is being able to add onto existing recordings. So if I go back to my playback menu, you see here there's a little record button. So if I press that, you see I've got the option to continue recording on that same clip. So if I press continue, it'll show me that recording is currently paused. So all I have to do is press the record button, and then that will start recording onto the end of that existing clip. Once you've finished recording, all you have to do is press the little stop, and then that clip will be saved onto the other existing clip. I've got one last recording tip, and that is when you've got the camera powered off, if you want to quickly record a clip, just literally press the record button on the top of the camera. This will switch the camera on and then start recording really quickly. And then once you finish recording, all you have to do is press the record button again, and then the camera will automatically power off, which I think is really cool, helps you save battery, and lets you capture those moments that you might have otherwise missed. All right, so let's just take a quick moment to talk about the AI highlights feature. Now, basically what the AI highlights does is it will analyze all the footage that you take on the Ace Pro and then select what it thinks are key moments in each clip. And this makes it super easy to edit in post in the Insta360 app. And you can also use it to edit clips that are still on the Ace Pro. So let me show you how to do that. So in order to make sure your AI highlights is switched on, just swipe down to your general menu. And then here you've got this button right here, which is the AI highlights assistant. So you can either leave it turned off, I'm going to leave it turned on, and then each clip you take will be automatically processed with AI for any highlights. So if we go back to the playback menu, you can see when a clip has an AI highlight because it has this little flag and a number. So this means it's got one AI highlight clip. This clip here has 2 AI highlights, and this is great when you're editing in post, but you can also start doing some editing on the camera with these highlights. So in order to do that, you just have to press the AI highlights button, and then it will play back the 2 highlights in this particular clip. It shows you how long they are, each is 6 seconds. And then from there, what you can do, you can select share. It gives you the option to select which clip you want, then just press the tick icon, and then this will save those 2 AI highlights either as 2 separate clips as new files, or it will merge them into a single new file. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to go merge clips, and then as you can see on the camera itself, it will automatically merge those. And now I have a brand new clip with both of those highlights merged together. Next up, let's go through the different camera modes and the uses for each one. All right, so the first mode is the video mode, and this will record video with flow state stabilization applied. And I found this is best for shooting general handheld footage, particularly when it's not action footage. In this mode, you can shoot up to 8K all the way down to 1080p in active HDR. Just keep in mind you can't reframe the aspect ratio, and this doesn't have the horizon lock. The next mode is the pure video mode, and this is best for low light situations. So this is automatically going to apply the best settings to the camera so that it gives you the best low light performance. Next, we've got the free frame video mode. And this is the mode that's best for action footage because it enables you to apply flow state stabilization in post as well as the horizon lock feature. And you can also adjust the aspect ratio in post, which is why it gives you this overlay so you can see it horizontal aspect ratio as well as the vertical aspect ratio. You can turn this guide off if you want, but it's definitely handy leaving it on so you know roughly where you're shooting. In this mode, you're restricted to just shooting in 4K up to 60 frames per second. Next, we've got the time shift mode. And this basically enables you to capture hyperlapses, which is essentially moving time lapses. And I've personally gotten really great results with this in cars. Next is probably one of my favorite modes, and that's the time-lapse mode. And this mode makes it super easy to create really amazing looking time lapses. You can literally just select the amount of time you want to record for, the interval at which you want to capture frames, and then it will give you an estimate of the length of the clip that you're going to output. Like I said, I've gotten some really great results with this mode. Next, we've got loop recording. And in this mode, it will continuously record a preset amount of footage. And you can select that loop. You can do anywhere from 1 minute all the way up to 30 minutes. This is great if you really don't want to miss something and you're not quite sure when it's going to happen, or if you want to use the Ace Pro to double as a dash cam in your camera or on your motorbike, for example. The next mode is the slow motion mode. And this is the mode that enables you to shoot in 240 frames a second, which is amazing in 1080p. You can also shoot up to 120 frames a second in 4K. Next, we've got the star lapse mode. And I recently have been experimenting with the star lapse mode, and you can get some really amazing results. It's super easy to set up and record, and you can get some amazing star trail videos and photos. Next, we have the burst photo mode. And this basically enables you to take short bursts up to 6 seconds long of 12 megapixel photos. Next, we've got the interval mode. And this basically just takes preset photos at preset intervals, which could be useful for super long time lapses, and it also does 48 megapixel photos. Then we have the HDR photo mode, and this is used for HDR photos up to 12 megapixels. And then lastly, we've got the standard photo mode, and this enables you to take non-HDR photos up to that maximum of 48 megapixels. Next, let's just quickly go through how to transfer the footage from your Ace Pro to your phone or to your Mac or PC. So to transfer it to your phone, it's super easy. Just make sure your Ace Pro is switched on, and then go to the Insta360 app on your phone. And then from here, go to the connection button at the bottom and then hit join to join the Ace Pro network. Then once it's connected, you can go to the album button just here. This will show you all of the different files that are on your Ace Pro. If you want to go in and view one, just tap on it and this will play it back for you. And from here, you can either edit it, add effects, or you can just export this directly onto your phone using the export button up the top. All right, next, in order to transfer footage to your Mac or your PC, first of all, just power on your camera, then plug it into your computer with a USB cable. Then on the screen of the Ace Pro, 3 options will appear. There's a UDisc mode option, a webcam mode, or an Android mode. You want to select UDisc mode, and this just lets your computer read the files that are on the camera. Then jump onto your computer and open the Insta360 Studio app, which you can download from the Insta360 website for free. It should automatically recognize that your camera is connected and give you the option to import all of your photos and videos. It might take a little bit of time depending on how much footage you've got on your camera. Just wait for it to load up, and then when it's loaded, you can browse and play back all of your clips and all of your photos. Now to export, just find the clip that you want, then hit the yellow button in the bottom right corner. This will bring up your export settings. Just double check them, including your export folder, and then hit start export. Just wait for it to export and you'll have the file ready to go. Next, let's go through the general settings on the Ace Pro. So in order to access your general settings, like we said before, swipe down from the top of the screen. First button is your quick capture, which we mentioned earlier. So this enables you to quickly press the record button on top, and this will start recording immediately. Then we've got the rotation lock, which if you turn that off, it will enable you to shoot portrait mode for all those vertical videos. Then we have the gesture controls. So this enables you to turn the gesture controls on and off. There's the voice controls as well, so you can turn voice controls on and off. Here we've got the pre-recording feature, and this will continuously record so that when you press for 15 seconds before you press the record button. And again, this is a great way just to ensure that you don't miss any action if you don't know exactly when it's going to happen. Then we've got the AI highlights button like we discussed earlier. We've got the brightness controls for the screen, so you can adjust how bright the screen looks. We have a lock, which basically locks the screen so you can't accidentally change any of the settings. Just swipe up and you're good to go. Then on the next page, the prompt sound level, and you can adjust between high, medium, low, or mute. And this is just basically your feedback. I personally like it on low. Then you've got the indicator light, so you can turn this on and off. There's one indicator light here, and then there's one on the front. So if we turn that back on, you can see the indicator light on the front turns back on. There's a grid, which can help you frame your shots more clearly. Then we have the sound modes. So we've got stereo, wind reduction, or direction focus. And obviously wind reduction is going to be best if you're using this in high winds, or if you're using it while you're skating or cycling or doing something action. Stereo might be good for general shooting and filming, and the direction might be good if you're doing something like vlogging. Then we've got this cool feature, timed capture. And this enables you to set a preset time that the camera will automatically start recording. This is great if you're going to be away from the camera and you want it to start without you. Then we have Bluetooth remote. This enables you to connect to accessories like the GPS preview remote. And I do have one of these, and I'm going to talk about it in my review video, so keep an eye out for that. You can attach Bluetooth headphones for playback as well as external microphones. And then lastly, we've got the general settings button. And I'm not going to go through everything in the general settings, but I'm just going to point out a few things. The first is your image settings. So if you go down to image settings, you just want to make sure that your video encoding, that your bitrate is set to high. If it's on standard, it will save space, but your image quality won't be as good as when the bitrate is set to high. And then lastly, I just want to quickly show you where to format your SD card. So if you scroll down, you can see SD card and how much space you've got available. If you tap on that, you can hit format SD card, and that will delete everything on that card so that it's all clear and you can start fresh. Now let's quickly talk about the included mounts that come with the Ace Pro. So aside from the quick release, you also get this permanent suction mount. And this is a used once accessory, so you can stick it onto something permanently. It's got an adhesive seal that you can peel back and stick to something. This might be useful to attach to something like a helmet or a car or something where you want to regularly mount your Ace Pro. And I'll just quickly show you how you can use the quick mount to attach to extra accessories. So obviously attach it to your Ace Pro first, and then lots of camera accessories will have a standard mount like this. And all you have to do is line up the prongs, slide it in so that the holes are aligned, and then get the screw and just slide it in, tighten. And then from there, you can attach that to all sorts of camera accessories. For example, this multi-mount that Insta360 makes, screw it in really easily. And then just like that, you've got it attached to a camera accessory. And then finally, while we're on the topic of extra accessories you might want to consider, the first is this multi-mount. This is actually one of my favorite Insta360 accessories so far. You can literally use it as a tripod like this, or you can fold it up and use it as a simple selfie stick, which is great. You can also extend this out by untightening the sides and then stretching it out like this, retightening those side parts. And then just like that, you've got an extended selfie stick, which you can use both for vlogging or for shooting stuff that you're around. So I highly recommend checking out this multi-mount. And then the other accessory that I definitely recommend checking out is this little quick release, because one of the downsides to the Ace Pro is that it doesn't have a 1/4 inch thread built into the body anywhere. However, with this quick release plate, it turns the camera into a 1/4 inch mountable camera. So it attaches, and you've got that little 1/4 inch thread, which you can attach to all sorts of camera accessories. And then it also still will double as a standard mounting camera base, just like that. So I highly recommend checking out this accessory as well. So there you go. I really hope this video helped you set up your own Ace Pro, or maybe it helps you decide whether or not this is the right camera for you. For me personally, it's quickly becoming my favorite Insta360 camera that I've ever received, maybe equal to the X3, but keep an eye out because I've got a full review coming very soon. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. I've also got heaps of other videos on Insta360 gear, so make sure you go and check them out. And if you do want to purchase the Ace Pro, then use my affiliate link in the description because you'll get a free accessory and it also helps support my channel. Lastly, maybe you're trying to decide whether to buy the Ace Pro or the Go 3. Well, I've also created a beginner's guide for the Go 3, so make sure you go and watch that video here.